when you always from I forgot you can't mute it. You can't mute it. Forgot about that. How do you want borders to be? Look at the snow. And yeah. That's 4. Let's go.
Today, from Lincoln. Here's the former Cornhusker Brett Maher to get this one started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field.
Oh, I get it.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
We haven't played that recently.
Veteran Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers ready to go for drive number 1 along with the rest of this Packer offense.
There have been very few quarterbacks in the NFL who have been as consistent throughout their career as Aaron Rodgers. He's been good for so long, and we've seen no decline in his skills. His accuracy and arm strength continue to elevate the talent around him, and his in-game mistakes, few and far between.
Right to the air is Rodgers. Rush coming, and he's taken down. DeMarcus Lawrence collapses the pocket and drops him for a loss of 3. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-place sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. Rodgers going to throw. And that will be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
It's Rodgers. Well, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. Now we'll see what the right arm of Dak Prescott has in store as the Dallas Cowboys offense sets up shop.
And how about the toughness of Dak Prescott? We see it all the time on the field. And remember when he had that serious ankle injury, would he return to form? Boy, did he ever. and he was better than ever, and that's great for the NFL. Terrific resilience, playing at a high level, capable of winning a championship with his arm and his legs.
Following the interception, here's Prescott.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it, and it's second down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Prescott down. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks it. And the Packers are going to take over at their own 41. When I saw the pressure coming at him, that just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. So after the INT, it's Rodgers.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races. The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead, it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down leads us to 3rd and inches. Now Rodgers.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Jordan Lewis.
And the Cowboys are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of investigation to figure out why they're still sitting at 0 on the scoreboard, because their quarterback's got to wake up and start reading defense a heck of a lot better after throwing his 2nd interception.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Again, it's Elliott. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Off the play fake, Prescott.
Open man Lamb, it's complete.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. Well, they only needed a small gain on 3rd down. They end up getting over 30 yards.
Well, dialing up that play call certainly meant that he grabbed a little extra shot of courage on that one, because normally on 3rd and short, you're just trying to move the sticks, get the ball just past that line of scrimmage. Instead, they take the big shot downfield, and it pays off.
First down carry by Elliott. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Inside give to Elliott. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
I I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the third down stop. Looking to throw. Prescott. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And the Packers are going to take over at their own 11-yard line.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that third down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the Pack up 1st and 10 at their own 11. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Rodgers will try again on 2nd down. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. Well, that's what you get, apparently, when you try to take on a Pro Bowl cornerback. And what a play there to make the interception and also bring it back for 6.
And he is so good that we've seen teams absolutely stay away from throwing the ball at him. Here, he's just reading the quarterback's eyes the entire way, makes a great play on the football, and turns it into 6.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Nixon elects not to return it, and this comes out to the 25. The Green Bay offense ready to take over. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Now Rodgers to try again after the pick 6. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from it. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. To throw on 2nd and 10. Rodgers. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time they were up to the challenge.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. And how about this, a fake? And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. I know, without even asking, without even looking in your direction, that you are not a fan of that call.
Oh, I wish you had looked, Brandon, because I was actually thinking this would be the perfect time for a fake.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. This deep in your own territory. Look, I'm all for being unconventional. That part's cool, and I get it. But this deep, I just don't think it was the right time to make that call.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Up the middle, here is Elliott. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Big Kenny Clark that time pushing upfield to make the tackle for loss. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They go to Elliott again.
Oh, my God. Oh.
And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Yo, you saw that though, right?
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. 6-0 our score after 1. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. The give is to Elliott. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender, and the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, it's sometimes a thing of beauty.
Halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Elliott will get about halfway there as he takes this from the 4 down to the 2. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
The line of scrimmage is the 2 here on 3rd and goal. They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And this is going to depend on the spot, but I believe he might be a few inches short. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's an old-fashioned.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Cowboys' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. That touchdown run, it was just straight power on 4th and goal, and the offense won.
Yeah, let me just follow up with you, because we always talk about how the low man wins, who has the best leverage in the trenches. On that play, we saw who won that battle. But it's not just that. It takes a runner with some vision, too, to find exactly where the cracks are, exactly where the creases are, and punch it into the end zone.
Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Now Mike McCarthy going to decide to go for 2 here. Prescott, they're going to throw for it. And will be intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander.
It's interesting that when it comes to two-point conversions, even heavy run teams tend to throw the ball in these situations. In this case, this one was intercepted.
Yeah, they weren't fooled. They were ready for the pass, picked it off.
I should have just chose triangle. Don't you agree?
Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. Fields this way up at the 17. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. This offense back out and set to go for their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
But normally you see 3 tight ends in a formation, you have to think to yourself, this has got to be a run. And I know as a safety, when I saw that, I took an extra step or 2 towards the line of scrimmage. Instead, they threw the ball, and he found one of those tight ends for a very nice pickup.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers.
What?
That's taken in by the tight end, Josiah DeGuara. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Rodgers. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
This offense so far on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd down and 12. Throwing now is Rodgers. He's going to launch this deep for Watson. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
On now is Mason Crosby, who's hit from as far as 58 in his career. Oh, look at this. A flip to the kicker. He's going to try to run for it. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. And the Cowboys defense is going to get him the football back. Well, it was a long attempt to begin with, so the fake you might have known was somewhat of a possibility. Credit to the defense, though. They weren't fooled.
You're right, they weren't fooled. And they were in a position of having to play it both ways. Guard for the fake, but you still want to rush the kicker because it was a makeable kick. So they ended up getting the best out of the whole thing. Stuffed the fake, and they take over the ball.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Pollard again. And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll check in with Jonathan Coachman from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. Play action now. Prescott.
Okay, why didn't you just...
This is caught inside the 15. And they're going to be set up now with a ball at the 13-yard line.
That is the exact right play call against that defense. So a hat tip to the offensive play caller because he won that part of the chess match. But give credit to his players as well. They won the execution part of it.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Prescott. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line.
Well, Brandon, as they say in popular culture, this one's going to leave a mark because they can see the end zone, but it'll stay out of reach because of their error. All their offensive teammates have to give the quarterback right now, offer a little bit of encouragement because what's done is done. Let's get them next time out.
Rodgers now on 1st down. That is caught. It's the tight end, Tunyon. He's at the 40. The 20. 10. Touchdown, Packers. Robert Tunyon, 92 yards. And the Packers are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. Maybe that is the boost that this offense needed.
They've done nothing the entire half, but out of the blue comes this big shot here. You're exactly right. Like a dunk in basketball, like a home run in baseball, maybe a solo shot. Sometimes you need that big play to get things ignited.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack.
Let me go ahead and show my age a little bit. I liked it when they would fake it from the 3-yard line, right? When they'd line up, go ahead and, oh, there's a fake, and he's going to get 2. That's great. But from the 15, the risk reward, it's just not there.
So risky to get 15 yards on a fake. Well, you see the result right there.
Yeah, I know these young whippersnappers are trying to do different things in this game, but let's go back to old reliable. Kick the ball through the post.
Get off my lawn.
That's darn right.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Dak and the Cowboys getting set for their next possession. He was intercepted on that last drive, the 3rd one he's thrown in this first half alone. He'll look to right the ship here, 1st and 10.
trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Play fake. Here's Prescott. He's going deep for Brown. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him throwing the football, well, we look at the defense. They came in prepared. Had an excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
And the defense loses him. It's complete. Touchdown, Packers. Robert Tonyan with his 2nd touchdown in this first half. And the Packers are an extra point away from moving out in front in the final minute of the half.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the depth. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it.
Okay, they went for the fake off of the extra point attempt. It's a long way to go, and they didn't get there. Didn't get it completed successfully. Did someone dare them to do that? Did someone double dog dare
I was
to do
going to
that?
ask you, maybe they saw something. Something on film with those to try something from the 15 on a PAT? I don't know.
The only thing they needed to see on film there was a snap, a hole, and someone kicking the ball through the post.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. The Cowboy offense going to head out now late in this first half. And they've got a little under 40 seconds to go if they want to try to put something together here.
Prescott looks to throw on first. He's going to take another shot here.
What?
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
What was that?
Certainly no lack of aggressiveness here. They were hoping for the home run play to get them 6 points. They're hoping for a catch, maybe a call, but they figure they can at least get into field goal range with a completion.
To throw again on 2nd down. Prescott, he'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. My goodness, another interception. Rasul Douglas picks him, and the Packers are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ballgame, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, and they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back. But that's one step in the proper direction.
On 2nd and 10, Rodgers, and that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down.
Throw over the middle, caught by DeGuara.
And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the 2nd quarter. A final shot before half for Rodgers.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Cowboys will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. So a nice play defensively by the rookie, coming up with the INT.
And that's a late-round pick right there, making a first-round impact. And a lot of these day 3 corners, they end up winding up on special teams and sub-packages and even on the practice squad. But he's really made an impact on this defense, and he comes up with the interception there.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So nothing separating these two teams as we head to the break, all square. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. His guys have the lead as the white stuff continues to fall. And for the call of the second half, give it back to Brandon.
This snow front that has socked much of the East Coast not going away as we are back to it in the second half. No run back here to begin the half, and we will start at the 25-yard line. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one. And we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee-wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
But one thing we certainly know, he likes to take those risks deep downfield during games, coverage or not. The coverage was there on that one. No catch, but he's also fortunate. No turnover either.
Looking deep for Hilton. And that's caught inside the 35. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Prescott. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Prescott off play action. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Press decline.
So a holding penalty, and that'll send him backwards.
You know, they're trying not to do that. I mean, we know that, right? We talk to them all the time. But sometimes the defensive guys just put you in awkward situations, and you get caught grabbing their jerseys.
They'll throw again. Prescott. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. On play action, Prescott. Well, he's going to go for it all. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
Fourth down, Prescott. And now here's another interception. Adrian Amos with a pick. And the Packers are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. There was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in, coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Rodgers now to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well. Incomplete.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10.
What?
And he's going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 40. His big day receiving just keeps getting bigger. He's over 200 yards now on the afternoon. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. Rodgers to throw once more. He'll find Aguara complete. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
On 2nd and very short, Rodgers. He'll find his tight end here, Aguara. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On 1st down, Rodgers. Touchdown! Robert Tunyon, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Packers have taken the lead. So this game tied at the half, but we are tied no more. A touchdown there on the opening sequence of this third quarter.
And what a great drive put together by their offensive coordinator. He had a plan, and they executed it almost to perfection, coming right out of the locker room. Now they're feeling good about their chances here in the 2nd half.
Finally, you kick it. And you're
Glaceon off the right upright, and it's no good.
What's Mario doing? Man, I'm dead.
Now he's back out there to boot this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Certainly not what they wanted there, so the football by rule comes out to the 40. Well, you don't see that often. He just mishit it, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, I know sitting up here, and I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and I know we're both thinking the same thing. Isn't it easy enough to keep it between the sidelines? Because unless you're intentionally doing it for some reason, well, that's a costly mishit, and now you put your team in a bad spot.
Again to Elliott.
Oh, I was running it?
And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 55 rushing yards on the ground for him so far.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Still a few inches short of a 1st down as they come up now on 2nd down. Prescott now from the 50. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Quay Walker came through to make the sack.
Well, they had the right down and the definite distance to take a shot downfield, but it didn't work out the way that they had envisioned.
No, that's a situation where if you take a sack close to the line of scrimmage, it's not that bad, but a loss like that, you can't take a sack there.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing you cannot do, they did.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On third down, it's Prescott. And that is incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a fourth down. Well done.
Prescott on fourth down. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. So that's the second time this game they've given it up on fourth down. They're now 1 for 3 on fourth down conversion tries.
But they must feel good about what they're doing, right? They continue to go for it on fourth down. Give the defense a lot of credit, though. They've stopped them 2 out of 3 times. Usually, you have fourth down plays that you have dialed up and ready to go and you think are going to be successful. Not so far in this game.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Normally, being a big-bodied receiver plays to their advantage downfield. Go up and make the catch, take the hit, and pick up yardage. But in this case, the hit was timed really well and popped it free from his grasp.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Rodgers, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with third down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
And that will be incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
Rodgers going to go on fourth down. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And the Cowboys defense is going to get them the football back. So they have now gone for it on fourth 4 times. And they have converted no times.
I know we talk about analytics and how it's entered into the game.
Okay, we're back.
And there's a good percentage that says, go for it. You actually make a good percentage. In this case, the analytics just went right out the window. 0 for 4. They've got to start looking at things in a different way.
Hurry.
Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. Well, this is taken in. It's complete.
What just happened?
Down, Cowboys. CD Lamb, 65 yards. And the Cowboys strike quickly here to tie up the ball game. Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy at his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want is just a moment for the guys covering, take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by him. And once he's by him, there's no catching him. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
Trust me.
And that was a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete. Popular down near the goal line. Quick slant. Nice job there to get in, knock it away.
It was. One of the other things you're concerned about when you throw that route is to make sure your offensive linemen use their leverage to get the hands of the defensive front down so you can throw it through that little bit of crowd and get it to the receiver. In this event, they did, but a nice play by the defender knocking it away.
So we're right back where we started. All even as the kick's away. Taking it about the 1.
Oh, boot.
And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throw right side. This is into the hands of the tight end, Tunyon. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Rodgers now on first down. And he'll let this go deep for Lazard. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Anthony Brown. And the Cowboys are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. That is now 5 interceptions that he has thrown in this ball game. If I asked you to speculate what's possibly going on in his head, what would you say?
Well, if he's as mentally strong as I believe he is, he understands that not all these picks have been his fault.
And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. With Sean Gary that time fighting free and getting to the quarterback.
Now that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Gonna take a shot for Gallup. And now here's another interception. Adrian Amos with a pick. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment.
Today, his assignment, the football, and he's done so quite well.
He's lagging.
And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action.
Why did you make
This
that?
is the National Football League on EA Sports. Looking to throw again on second down. Rodgers, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down. The Packers on third down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now it's Rodgers.
Wait for me to do that.
And this will be incomplete.
What?
Boy, can you
My
believe
God.
this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's 4th down.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one. Not to have another turnover on his ledger.
No! And he makes the grab. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Throwing is Rodgers. Touchdown, Packers!
We are
4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers have broken our tie and have taken a 4th quarter lead. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. Pressure comes and down he goes.
Hold on. I did that. The only reason I did was so I could see this song. No, that's why I want to see the song. It's because I didn't mute the mic. Yeah.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Possession of the football going back to the Cowboys. Here comes another drive from this unit, and Charles, they're coming off a costly mistake on the last possession, an interception in a game that is very close right now.
Well, as we know, they all sting no matter what the situation, but in a one-possession game, that'll hurt a little bit more. But this is an excellent opportunity to make up for it on this drive. I just don't expect them to try and take huge gambles to make up that momentum in a hurry.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He'll fire deep downfield from Lamb. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. Pretty good timing. He waited just enough for that post play to develop and laid it right in there.
And you know what a lot of teams do when they decide to throw a post route? Because it's a little bit longer developing play. They max protect. Bring everyone in, keep the tight end in, an extra back to make sure the quarterback has time to deliver the football.
So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Another one to C.D. Lamb. He's got it. And the Cowboys are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
I'm gonna laugh at this.
They come up on a 1st and goal, and most likely 4-down territory as they need a touchdown and a PAT for the lead. Throwing, Prescott. That ball is caught. It's Gallup. Touchdown, Cowboys. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from taking the lead here in the 4th. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
All right, so the Cowboys will go for 2 here. They'll try and throw for it. And no, they don't get it. Incomplete. And now they really have to be second-guessing themselves. Could have had the lead here in the 4th. Instead, we stay tied.
Onside.
And how about this decision? Tie game, 4th quarter. They want the ball back on the onside kick. Nothing separating these two sides. 24 score as he sends this one away. And this one travels out of bounds. So unsuccessful there on the onside kick try.
Well, not one you see often there as he fails to keep it between the sidelines, and that is a penalty every time, and going to give this offense better field position.
And it's every kickoff guy's nightmare, isn't it? Because you don't see yourself doing this, and most of the time you don't. It's absolutely a mishit, and now your team pays the price. Bad field position for your defense.
Rodgers going to throw. And here is a leaping catch. He pulled it in. A good pickup there at 20 yards.
Brandon, there have been some memorable snow games for championships in the NFL. 1948, Philadelphia Eagles, Chicago Cardinals.
Well, the most famous one in my lifetime, I think, is got to be 01, right? Raiders, Patriots, to send the Patriots to the Super Bowl.
You had to go to the Tuck roll, didn't you? Yeah, I think that's one people remember. But I also know this. In Miami, the infamous one, the snowplow game. In New England, when they went out there and the Patriots had a guy come out and clear a spot on the field for their field goal kicker to kick the game winner.
Is that 82?
That was 82, and the Dolphins fans will never forget it.
Well, we're not seeing one of those famous games here, but it's fun to be in the snow nonetheless.
I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10.
Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's a pretty play there. Got in at the last second, helped force the ball free, and kept them out of the end zone.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
They reset every time that happens. Look.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Rodgers again now. And it's caught.
And the Packers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence. And that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. Here's Rodgers. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Down near the goal line, things really get physical. You're always anticipating a running play, but when they do throw it, things happen quickly. A little bit of a bang-bang play there that falls incomplete.
One back in the game. That's Jones. 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1. Now, what's the thinking here? Because a touchdown would be nice, but you've ensured yourself a chance at 3 in the lead, so how worried are you about the 6?
You're not very worried about if you're confident in your kicker. And if you got a kicker who can put it through the post, you feel really good about trying to bleed that clock down. In an ideal scenario, your kicker puts it through the post as the clock hits zeros.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. They'll try and run it in with Jones. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
And I don't think there should be much of a discussion here, but you know how I am. You kick the football, you take the lead. How bold do you want to be in this situation, though?
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends.
No.
Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. Pass over the middle tipped, but he still
that
brings
was
it
in
in.
slow motion.
They get the completion, but cannot push forward into the end zone. And this Cowboy defense comes up with a goal line stand. So they pass on the chance to kick the go-ahead field goal, and that may be one they're going to regret big time.
And I think the head coach is going to have some explaining to do. Because in this situation, you kick the field goal to give yourself that chance at victory. By going for it, maybe you're saying you don't trust your field goal kicker, or maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe the kicker's hurt. So there'll be a lot of questions in the post-game press conference.
Makes the rest of this 4th quarter and the rest of this game very interesting.
It literally went in slow motion.
Here's Dak. He'll fire this deep for Gallup. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete. This defense hasn't had the best showing in this game, but a critical knockdown there. If they can hang on, I guess the end will kind of justify the means.
Certainly, and just think of it this way. It may not be the quantity of the plays that they've had, because those haven't been great, but they get a few
Oops, wrong button.
quality ones like that. That can finish things off for them.
On 2nd down, Elliott. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. 63 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, that sets up a big 3rd down. Now the decision has to be, do you run it here and play for OT, or do you go ahead and press it downfield?
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he will have the 1st down here as he's up to the 15. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Now Prescott. Going to take a shot for Gallup. And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete. Michael Gallup, that's who he was looking for. And it's 2nd down.
Dang it, I keep trusting it. No.
Prescott. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Preston Smith comes in for the sack. And we need overtime to decide this one after 4 quarters of play. We're all even. The extra session in a moment. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And here in overtime, If the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
Conditions only going to get worse as we get back to football here to start this overtime. This will be fielded inside the 5. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
That's not Bob's builder.
Dallas offense set for this next drive. And everyone knows the OT rules, Charles, but pretty simple formula. They go down and get a field goal, we continue play, but if they can find the end zone on this possession, ball game over.
And as meticulously as all teams plan for a game, I don't doubt for a second on that offense coordinator's play sheet, he's got some overtime plays that he wants to run. I know it sounds crazy, but they plan for everything. 1st and 10, all the way throughout the game, 2nd and 7, whatever. Right now, he's looking at that play sheet saying, if we get to overtime, what can we break out that they haven't seen?
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Prescott to throw it. He's going deep for Brown. And that is nearly intercepted. Oh, that would have changed things here in overtime, but instead, it's just 2nd down. Here's Prescott. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. Oh, and it's intercepted. And the Packers are going to have it with a chance to win the game here in overtime. He had the interception woes in regulation, and now they carry over into overtime. And on the other side, CD, all they need is a field goal to win it.
I'm glad you pointed that out, Brandon, because he has not been sharp all game long. He's been rather loose with some of his passes, and this one might cost him the ball game.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Rodgers to throw. Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs. And now the rookie's free. The 30. 10. 5. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. Well, partner, there's something special about a game in the snow. Just always fun in these elements, although a little chillier up here in the open-air booth.
We all tried going. We both tried going for the
notification that our flight was canceled tonight, but we'll deal with that later. It was really a fun game to watch, though.
It was, and there is something special about games played in the snow because the element of surprise really kicks in. You don't know how they're going to handle the ball, if someone's going to make a dramatic play just out of nowhere, and all of a sudden...
That's the end of the stream. Well, it's time for me to scream into the mic like I always do every time we end the stream, right? Yeah. Oh!